And welcome to another edition of winemastery.co.uk. My name's John Lightfoot and this is
John Murphy.
And we're here normally to tell you all about wine, but this is part 3 of our gin episode. Now, the first 2 parts we tried the same gin with 2 different tonics, and I was very surprised at the difference that made and the whole experience. But we're actually now going to taste the gin neat.
Yes, indeed we are. Now, I don't know if I did say this at the beginning, but a lot of the times when I said gin is a very, well, drinking is kind of mood oriented, and gin, I think, has become so fashionable because there are so many different ways you can drink it, so it really does appeal to a broad spectrum of folk. And I will often drink gin neat, but we're not talking like, you know, in a tall glass or anything. It would just be like in a whiskey glass, a block of ice, as you would do a whiskey, because I think, well, as we've seen, sometimes a tonic can affect it or you know, dampen the flavours or accentuate the flavours, whereas this way is just full on gin. You're just getting what the gin is all about. So for me, it's very appealing. It is very appealing. But I'd say you wouldn't go wild. It would be just like a tot at the end of the evening, just because there are so many flavours without having so many botanicals in there. There's so much to go out. So we are going to try the we are same gin, the Williams. So this is nothing really, so we're just going to get straight in with that.
Okay. Well, obviously the swirl is a lot stronger.
Yeah, it is, yeah.
But then I'm surprised, actually, not... I was expecting, because of it was quite strong with the tonic, I was expecting to do that and, as with the scotch, go, make my eyes water, but it doesn't.
It doesn't, no. I think we've kind of worked our way up, you know, because the first one was quite subtle, and then we've gone to the next one, introduced it a bit more, then we've just stepped up a little bit more.
Yeah.
Now that for me definitely has a lot more of that orangey, that citrusy.
Yeah.
The floral, the licorice comes through a lot more. It's quite good, just a...
I can't wait. We do. You're up in your nose.
Well, remember, we said with spirits as such, sometimes getting your nose in there, the alcohol can mask it, whereas just...
Okay.
I kind of just straight over there, you can get the more subtle. I mean, I'm not, but... Right, yeah.
Okay.
But I'm not getting much more from that, but I am going to have a lovely taste of it.
Well, then you do. Yeah.
Well, obviously it's going to have a lot more power there. You can taste the alcohol in there. That's probably what the tonics are masking, a lot of the alcohol. But I'm not afraid of the alcohol. It's quite, again, that is a mood drink I could go for, because it's actually, like I said, that's really quite smooth, and I bet that's to do with their own vodka, because the vodka that they produce, I think it's distilled 5 times, not 100% sure.
Right.
I think, and that makes it very, very smooth. So that
is made from vodka?
Yeah, they've made from vodka, and then they've redistilled it with the botanicals.
Really? Wow. So it's...
Is what I'm led to believe.
Wow. So it's sort of like a very sort of 007 sort of gin.
Yes! 007. I like that. But what you get with that one now is that flavour's hanging around much longer. So again, well, and this is interesting because we've gone from the Fever Tree there, which is light, easy, bubbly, slurping away, then to the bottle green, bottle green, a little kind of commands a little bit more respect. Now we've got this, which is that would command full respect. You wouldn't be slugging that. All of you say, isn't it?
No, it would be a waste if you were.
Yeah, and it is a neat spirit. It is that for all intents and purposes, but that is not nearly as harsh as any neat spirit you'd usually drink.
No, it doesn't sort of whop you at the back of the throat, and you can feel it sort of tingle. You can feel it's the spirit, but it's
There's kind of a mentally minty flavour coming through me on that as well. Oh, which I see that now. I said it commands a lot of respect, but I'd be dangerous with that one because I don't have that harsh alcohol burn, and we must be 40%. Yeah, we're 40%. Oh, I could just suck that.
So that's the same. That's around the same as Scotch, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, usually, yeah.
Yeah. Very nice.
That is
gorgeous.
That's scarily good.
Scary.
I must say, I mean, this is the first time we've tried the Williams as well. So hats off, guys. Hats off.
Yeah.
Fantastic. You might have a nice vodka, but your gin is also equally as good.
That is gorgeous. And I think it's when I've been in Holland and drink. I'm not sure, is it Genevieve or Genevieve?
Genevieve, I think it's getting too late for this now. Yeah?
They tend to drink theirs, which is their gin, tend to drink it straight, and well, when I've been with them, they have. Unless they're trying to sort of negotiate better with me in a worse state. But,
the Genevieve, that is the original gin. We've basically stolen it. And that's where, so I'm led to believe again, the term Dutch courage comes from, because
really?
Apparently the troops were given the gin, and it was neat to give them the courage to go and then...
What troops?
The
Dutch
soldiers.
troops?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's where it came from, apparently.
Well, I heard a different story of where it came from. I heard...
It's like,
go I heard that in the days of the plague, London plague, actually nobody, they couldn't get people to bring the food in, because it was all the food came via the Thames.
Okay.
So if they bring imports in, nobody would come. So apart from the Dutch, who still came up and offloaded the cargo, and that's where the expression Dutch courage comes. Because that's what I've been told. Because they have the courage to come in. So,
one of us has got to be right.
Well, perhaps you can tell us which one of us is right.
If you could, if anybody knows, if anybody's the true origins, throw that in. But you are right in saying that, because the Genevieve, I must find that out. I've got a friend who runs some gin festival, called, not like gin tasting. It's called Gintastic. If you're around Leeds, have a look, because it's cracking. You've got about 70 gins to drink, and then the last time I did it for him, I had 4 gins to actually try or taste with the customers when they came through. And I can't remember, there was a saffron gin up here, and there was a minty one. Anyway, I digress. The last one was the Genevieve, and I tried them all neat, and then I tried them all with tonic, along with the customers. And the 3 first ones, they really suited the tonic. But the Genevieve, the last one, the Dutch one, that didn't. That was better on its own, and it almost has a whiskey kind of taste about it. And then when I put the tonic in, it almost ruined it. Right. So I could see that, and I can understand how that would be. So I mean, again, that comes down to you've so many gins. Each gin, the ingredients, the botanicals which have made them up, a very closely guarded secret. Every gin tastes very, very different, and then put into the mix the different tonics you can have, and then with different garnishes you can have. It's almost endless.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, it sounds like it.
But it's good fun trying.
You were mentioning, I think earlier, that there are a lot of small distilleries popping up now. It's very fashionable, and a lot of small distilleries popping up. And I guess also like craft beers, it's becoming a little bit. Everyone's got their own little twist on the taste.
Well, of course you have, and a lot of them all have their little stories. I mean, I don't know if there's one called £50 gin. And it's not £50, it's $39.99, you'd be glad
Discount.
to hear. But apparently to be able to distill gin back in the day, back in London as it was, you had to pay a £50 price to be able to distill your own gin. So, and that's how they all have a lot of backstory as such. But you can have as many backstories as you like, it doesn't mean it's a good gin, and it doesn't also mean that you're going to like that gin. What I would recommend to you is going to these gin festivals and finding your own flavours, because it's nearly impossible to just look at the back of the bottle and think, oh, that'll be fine. And customer reviews and that kind of thing on there, but again, it's because it's so personal, you really need to have a look at these gin festivals. They've done wonders for my gin drinking, wonders.
And would the local merchant be able to help them, or is it more difficult with gin to be able to point someone in, rather than wine, point someone in one direction or another?
Depending on your wine merchant, he should have a good grasp on the gins that he's selling, he or she is selling, and also which each one tastes like. And again, he should be able to pull the information from you, and if you tell me, I would like this gin, that gin, and that, he should then be able to tell you which gin you will be liking. And I think it's more difficult. It's definitely more difficult than the wine, I would say. Okay,
good. But absolutely. Well, that's been never tasted that gin before, and I've never quite tasted one with the orange. So it's been really interesting for me. It's certainly worthwhile experimenting with. So I guess the best way, like with wine actually, is to get some friends in. That way, if you bring a bottle each, you can have.
Yes. That's always. I know a few little smaller groups of people, and they have little gin clubs where they all, maybe every month or something, take a bottle to someone's house, and it's just good fun, isn't it? And that's what it's all about.
Absolutely, and like wine, obviously, drinking it with someone is probably more fun than drinking it on your own.
It depends on the person. I jest. Come on. Well, that has definitely been a pleasure for me, and I will.
Thank you.
No, thank you. I think we should definitely throw a few more gin ones in there. We'll do one with fruits and see what happens.
And if anyone out there is setting something up, looking for us to review it, chuck some our way, and
We are very good at tasting gin.
we're very good at tasting, as well as wine.
And wine, yeah.
Yeah, as wine. So you can chuck that at us, and we'll do that review as well. Anyway, that probably concludes. An excellent, really enjoyed this episode. I enjoy every one of them, but I guess it's just a little bit different.
It's just a little bit different, a little bit off.
Yeah,
Yep,
yeah.
it was splendid.
Yeah, long and short of it. So,
To get it in there. So,
we'll see you in the next one. Cheers.
we will see. Yeah. Chin chin.
Chin chin.